Everyone, let's get these alerts off. It's Monday, which you know what that means. Monday mindset. We're going to talk about all the things that impact your mindset and good stuff to do, what to do and not to do kind of thing. But good morning, everyone. This is Carol Sue, aka Naughty Boss, live with two
Sistas. Hey, good morning, everyone. It's Janice, aka Wellness Diva 5.0. And wow, I was just looking at my roots and oh boy, yeah, it doesn't really match the ends, but oh well, salt and pepper.
Well, that's kind of the look though, the darker. I mean, I'm sure there's some little bit of gray blended in, but
well, you know,
that's kind of like the look, the darker roots and the lighter hair, and that's all good. But today is Monday mindset, and it's one of those things where you wake up with that anticipation. At least I do, and I know a lot of our listeners and viewers do as well as you do. Is you wake up with this anticipation that it's the start of the week, even though technically from a calendar perspective, Sunday is the first day of the week. But that's kind of like the end of TGIF weekend and all of that. So we associate, our mindset really associates, which is really depicted by your job, kids going to school, the actual work week. So we consider Monday the first day of the week because it's the official part of that 5-day piece to our lives that are scrambles, like scrambled eggs. And what I mean by that is, you're scrambling, maybe you're making lunches, you're double checking your calendar, how many appointments, where the kids got to be, they got soccer, dance, football, cheerleading, whatever it may be, music lessons, what doctor's appointments you have, what does your spouse or your partner have. And when you realize it, if you're looking at it like a fast forward of Monday through Friday, your mind gets scrambled, right? And we want to help you unscramble the scrambled eggs that are going on in your brain. And the way to do that key piece is organization. Now, whether you use pen to paper, whether it's note cards, whether it's a planner, these are all things that will ease the scrambled egg part, right? But at the same time, you've also got to input that time frame for you to maybe do yoga, maybe to listen to music, get your fitness in, double check your own health journey. Because if you're not if you're the kind of the captain of the ship, right? And you are not nourishing your mindset with good things, that enters into the scrambled egg piece to it. So we don't want that to happen. So music is good. But also the key piece is being really clear and define what you want your circle to be, Jan. So when you think of your circle, let's say, what are things that you want to encompass you? And when I say circle, that doesn't mean you can't leave the circle, or you can't derail, or you can't take a little different journey. But your core piece of who you are, your soul, your vibe, everything that you cherish, I think of it as this flowing circle, and we need to nourish that, and we also need to encompass good things in our circle. So what are some of the things that you do?
That's a great question, because the first thing that always pops to my mind, which some people may think that it is selfish, of course, is self-care, which is not selfish.
No, it's not.
Because the bottom line is, if I don't, nobody's going to take care of me except me. That's my responsibility, but be that as, a mom, and, we obviously tend to take on the world. But back to your specific question, that's kind of the nucleus, excuse me, of that circle. And of course, my family, my extended friends, which are also part of my family, keeping those people around me, knowing that I can, of course, reach out to anyone if I have a problem. And, life happens in unexpected ways. And I think kind of going into that with each day, knowing that something unexpected might happen, not to focus on that, but that's kind of always in the back of my mind. And I think because of obviously what happened to Ryan, but not to focus so much on that, but focus on the good of things coming out. So, there's so many good blessings that maybe we didn't recognize from the day before, like looking at the blessings. So self-care, family, friends, being grateful, blessings, taking time to acknowledge those things that maybe are bothersome or, make you upset, whatever that is, but then finding a way to move forward with that, because life does not stop. It just doesn't stop.
It keeps going. And I think an integral, those are all great things. And I think for the most part, on a broad basis, a lot of people do that. But, what we tell you to do also is to nourish those things that are encompassing and nourishing you in return, because that creates for a positive mindset. Have those debates, have those conversations. Accountability is also paramount if you want to keep the vibe going in your circle. But at the same time, nourish it with things that actually give you joy, give you pleasure, give you that really good feeling. I was talking to someone yesterday that is extremely struggling with some issues, and this person could not wait to get off the phone and go lift weights. And lifting weights, exercising, fitness is one of those things that naturally is going to give you those natural endorphins to make you feel good. But there's also good foods that will give you some good endorphins. So you really got to figure out, where's my path? Where am I overwhelmed at? And address it, be accountable for it, but at the same time, reach out to people. I think a lot of piece to mindset is you think that you're in it all by yourself. How many times can we all say, like, you were stuck in the mud of something sticky, whether it be health, whether it be our overall wellness, a situation, we're struggling with, and we don't want to bother people. And I think we figure out as we age, I should be able to handle this all on my own. And the truth of the matter is we're all human beings, and it's always good to get insights into your mindset. And what I mean by that is, say a certain situation happens where maybe the outcome didn't turn out maybe the way you wanted it to. Bounce those ideas off of somebody and say, hey, did I handle that wrong? Was I not thinking this correctly? Should I responded this way? Should I have done it this way? Maybe I lacked in accountability. Maybe, I slacked off too much. What do you think? And I think when you bounce off ideas is another key piece to having a fresh mindset, because sometimes we can't see internally something that may be obvious to somebody else, but they don't even know, not necessarily even how to approach it, but maybe they think, it's no big deal. It's not coming up in conversation. So I think, being open with other people within your circle, that does nourish your soul, and take turns with that. One time you're the receiver, one time you're the giver.
Well, the one thing I want to add to that is, and I've heard this kind of off and on the past few months, it is important to reach out. Like if you feel that you need to bounce something off someone, but be prepared for the answer. And in other words, it may not be what you expect. It may not be what you want to hear, but are you listening with intent? Because when you ask somebody a question to give your feedback, you have to be open to the good, bad, or indifferent as to what that response may be. No doubt it may sting a little, but the thought behind that is you're reaching out to somebody because you trust and love them, that that what you're going to ask them or seek their advice about is important to you. So take it with open arms. It's not meant to be personal. It's not meant to zing you, or however you want to word that, but just go into it with an open heart and an open mind.
Right. And the bottom line is anything worthwhile is always hard before it gets easy. Mm-hmm. Or before it gets comfortable, or before it just naturally flows. For some people, there are certain things that their outlook on life, their outlook on different situations, that is always positive. And those, I think, are some of the people that probably most people miss the cues. They perceive, oh, everything's perfect with them. They're happy-go-lucky, they're always in the calm. And a lot of those people are actually not in the calm. They just know that that's the persona about them because maybe that's their natural personality. But guess what? They have mindset issues too. We all do. And it's, because of the outside forces that are entering into our little circle, whether it be social media, whether it be your alerts on your devices, news alerts on the TV. And, so those things compact into a very small window of zinging you and really disrupt that mindset flow. But I always say a beautiful day begins with a beautiful mindset. So you have to somehow start off on a good, even if you're feeling like crap, even if you woke up and, maybe physically you weren't feeling well, mentally you weren't feeling well, immediately remove that mind. Embrace it because you're already feeling it. But then just say, you know what? Today is the start of a beautiful day. It's not the day's fault that, you're feeling what you're feeling. Look outdoors. Now, obviously, I can say that very easily because it's a beautiful sunshiny day. Well, what if you are somewhere where it's gloomy or rainy or crappy weather? What do? Turn the lights on and say it's still a beautiful day. Whatever, because we do know that sun is a key piece to your mindset and feeling good. And again, bringing out those great endorphins, that feel good feeling. But you have to do your part. If it's just like a gloom and doom day where you feel like, this is going to be one of those curl up on the couches days. I can't get my mindset right. I can't get motivated. I can't get out of my own way. And I always say, when you're feeling like that, reach out to someone to either talk it through, or if you know someone in need or a neighbor in need or whatever, or you happen to be going to the grocery store, whatever it may be, ask somebody, hey, I'm going out to run errands. Is there anything you need? It's such a simple, basic question, but you'd be surprised that most people say, I can't think of anything, but geez, thanks so much for thinking of me. Mm-hmm. And just in that little verbiage changes your mindset because someone was appreciative that you reach out to them. Don't you think?
Oh yeah. Spread, it's all about the kindness, spread the joys of what you're feeling in that moment. Like, oh, I feel so good. My mindset, woo, everything's going great. Spread the wealth, create that ripple effect.
Exactly. And I know, by talking to a lot of people this weekend, obviously we someone asked me, like, what is your podcast about? I had this question. And I said, it's everything to do with health and wellness, and not just about health and wellness, but what impacts our health and wellness. So he said, so like you talk about controversial things? I said, absolutely. We talk about politics, but politics is always at the table because it's pretty important right now. It should always be important. But the other piece is how it impacts our health and our wellness. Like, some people are extremely stressed out by what is going on in our economy. They're extremely stressed out about the violence that is going on in our country. And a lot of things that people are very upset about are things that it's not even in their control, but you can't ignore what's going on. So how do we navigate through the periods of the different seasons that we're in right now and still find that joy, still find that I'm able to push out kindness when I'm feeling like garbage or when I'm so angry about what's going on? So it's not easy. And we are perfect examples of that. We have our good days and our bad days. For sure, we're just like everybody else. And I heard literally 5 minutes before I came on, I heard a very disturbing story about our precious military. And it just blew me away. And I thought, get in that moment for a second. It's out of my control, but I do want to validate it. And I think it's horrible what they're doing to soldiers. But at the same time, I can support them in the ways that I can support them. And I think that's part of the balancing act. How can we support those that we feel are being wronged or being heard in such a way that validates that we understand where they are at, but also giving them a blessing from a distance. It's hard.
It really is, and it can be such a simple gesture. We were out this past Saturday at our usual early morning breakfast thing, and there was a North Haven police officer there. And I said, excuse me, sir, I just wanted to, say thank you for all that you do. No call is routine. And, thank you for your service. And our hearts and prayers are obviously with our, the North Haven Police Department, but of course, what transpired in Bristol, and
Right.
wanted you to know that. And he paused for a moment, because I mean, how many times does the public come up to them and say something like that?
Right.
What I got it out of that was just his awe.
Right.
Just his awe. And he said, thank you. Like, he was so appreciative.
And that's the key piece right there. Your simple little gesture of, really paying homage to what he does and putting his life on the line for every call, every time he puts that uniform on. And I think that's the part of conversation that we've lost with social media, that we've lost with the internet, is you don't, people are almost too nervous to go up to a police officer. Like, if I go up and I give him a good wish, is he going to assume like I'm trying to harm him? Or, maybe then like they don't know what to do. And I think a small little gesture like that in appropriate settings, like obviously you're at a breakfast place, so may change his attitude for the day. I mean, I can only imagine being an officer in today's world where there's a segment of the population that are angry with you, not satisfied with you, want to defund your, resources, because a lot of the stuff that they want to, like, when you're defund, you're not dismantling, but when you're defunding, you make it impossible for them to maybe get tools, weapons, things that they need to make their job run smoothly. So there's a whole gambit of things. And I think the average American, is good at heart. Humanity is good at heart. And I think we have to do better with being able to verbalize those things. And they're just small gestures now. Obviously, in certain departments or certain states or certain, cities, towns, whatever, doing collections or whatever for them, that is a great avenue too. But like you mentioned last week, just even bringing a baked good, stopping by the fire department or the police department and the whole, screwball thing about donuts. Well, don't bring donuts, bring muffins, bring a platter of vegetables and fruit. We want to keep them healthy inside. So they're, nourished, doing their job. So they're, you don't have to bring them a baked good. But, if that's what you choose to do and you're a good baker, go for it. But if you want to bring, something like fruits and veggies, bring that too, whatever it may be. Even if it's a card, I say if you have young children, have them make up a homemade card and hand deliver it to them. There's nothing more heartwarming than knowing that your community is behind you. And that's really the driving force of why they do what they do. And that will inspire them and maybe make them feel better when they're sad, when they're struggling with how am I perceived when I put this uniform on. So it's all these different things that really can enhance our own mindset at the same time of addressing some of these issues that may be stressing us out.
Yeah, exactly. Wow. So, sidebar, how I always say, what kitchen is that in? There was a lot of that going on this weekend. I'm like,
sure. So for our viewers and listeners who don't know, we have siblings that are visiting Jan.
Yeah.
So she had a house full and still has a house full, I think. And when you're dealing with a house that has 3 kitchens and 3 separate areas for the gadgets.
I was like, wait a minute, where did I put that? No, it's got to be up in the air. It was kind of comical at one point. I'm like, okay, well, it's not here, so it's got to be, if it's in that one, okay, great. If it's not, so there was a lot. It was kind of funny. I was laughing at it. I really got to work out.
Well, that's good.
Absolutely.
That's great. I'm on day 6 of detox. Day 3, 4, and even yesterday were tough. They got, 5 got a little bit better. So I'm implementing a bit more electrolytes in my body, which that helps with the headaches and not feeling that, getting that ick out. But I'm officially, past the halfway mark.
Good.
So far, so good. Eating. So a lot of people say, well, what are you eating on this detox? And you're not supposed to do, like I talked about, strenuous workouts, but I did have some pretty intense pickleball games yesterday. But, I just, said I rested in between, so I wasn't going game after game after game, which sometimes I will do. So a lot of times, like, come on, play the next game. You put your paddle in the box. I'm like, no, gotta sit out for a few minutes, get that rest in. But so what am I eating? I got a couple of messages on that. I'm eating fruits and vegetables, but nothing with seeds, no nuts. I'm eating white rice only. You can have condiments. You can have oils, butters. Obviously, I do a plant-based butter, and fish. So that's really the only protein from a meat, fish, poultry type of thing. You can only have fish. So I do like fish. And I don't eat fish every day. I love tuna fish. So I may have that in the afternoon, for my lunch. I'm still intermittent fasting. The first 3 days I wasn't intermittent. My window was a little wider than normal. So yesterday I got back to like 19 and a half hours, I think total, or 8, no, take that back, 16 and a half hours Saturday into Sunday was 16 and a half hours. And today it'll be back to 18/20 of where I fast. And then I have that 4-hour window to eat. The cool thing about it is, and then obviously a minimum of 60 ounces of water. But you really feel your body flushing out. This is day 5. I really could feel like I was, in all intents and purposes, peeing a lot. That was day 5. So now I'm on day 6. I'm over that hump mark. So I'm super excited about that. But, the other piece is it difficult? For me, the keeping up with intermittent fasting is not, because that's my lifestyle. I would have to say that I'm not a big protein/meat eater anyways. So I'm not really missing that. What I am missing is my plant-based burgers, because I really like those. And I can't eat those. Not quite yet, because there's some ingredients in there that don't go with the ingredients that I have to have. But I've been doing, you can do legumes, you can do beans. So I be eating a lot of that. So it's going good, but I'm over the hump.
That's awesome to hear. And on that note, we hope that you have an amazing Mindset Monday, or Monday mindset, however you want to word it is fine. Have a great Monday. And my name is Janice, aka Wellness Diva 5.0, and I'm with TwoSistas,
and this is Carol Sue, aka Naughty Boss, telling you, wake up. Embrace a beautiful day, because when you start out saying it's a beautiful day, you'll have a beautiful mindset. We will see you tomorrow for Triumph Tuesday. I wonder what that's going to be about. We'll see. Take care, everyone. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.